In this example, as promised, we're going to look at parentheses as a tool for changing order. So we said we're always going to do multiplication and division before addition or subtraction. Well, what if there's a case like we saw in the last one where you want to do the addition or subtraction first? There's something in the problem that tells you should do that first. We want a way to represent that, to override the standard operations and say, nope, in this case we're going to do addition or subtraction first. So let's look at some examples. Howard bought a $25 comic book and a $35 belt buckle. He paid with a $100 bill. Okay, and now our question or goal is, how much change will Howard receive? Be sure to indicate every step in your process. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to think about this, so let's kind of look at both of them. One way is you might say, well, let's see how much money Howard has to pay. So you might take the 25 and 35, and when you add them together, that totals $60. And then since he paid with a $100 bill, you want to subtract the 60 from 100, and you would get that his change is $40. Another way you might think of this, is that he starts with $100 and you want to subtract off 25, the price for the comic book, and then from that result you want to subtract off 35. 75 minus 35 is also $40. So notice there's more than one way to do these. We just have to write them horizontally so that we're representing them correctly. Now here, notice what happened is we added these two numbers first and then we subtracted that result from 100. So if we just wrote 100 minus 25 plus 35, notice this wouldn't give us the correct answer if we followed the order of operations. The order of operations would say do the subtraction first, we'd get 75, and then we'd add 35 and end up with more money than we started with, 110. What we really want to do is subtract this entire quantity. So the way we're going to indicate that is to put parentheses around the 25 and 35. So now, even though we, in general, read these from left to right, we would normally do the subtraction first. The parentheses are saying do what's in here first. So first you would do 25 plus 35, you would get the 60. Then you would do the 100 minus 60 to get 40. Okay. In this case, if you did this step by step without combining the 25 and 35 first, you could just start with 100, subtract 25, and then subtract 35. So these are actually equivalent statements, and I think you can see why. This one is taking the two amounts that you want to take away because he's paying for them, adding the amounts together first, then subtracting them. Here we're subtracting them one at a time, but they have the same result. So this is how we use parentheses to indicate to do this addition operation first if you don't write it that way. So looking at Rule 4, if we want to change the order in which we perform operations in an arithmetic expression, we can use parentheses to indicate that we will perform the operation inside the parentheses first. So this says, do this operation first. Even if this was multiplication or division, parentheses come first.